Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. And today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how you should never feel guilty for closing off the fight. You know what I'm saying? We not starters, but we are finishers. We are not starters, we are finishers. When you will catch us starting is if we're stepping in place to start from somebody else, for somebody else who doesn't know how to go about that process. You know what I'm saying? But this is something that I probably wasn't even going to touch on, but then it kind of re-hit my spirit again. So we had like and I'm just going to give an example, because me and my mini had a conversation, because she had a situation with a pair, and I be telling her, everybody that you playing with is not your friend. You know what I'm saying? Depends on what y'all doing, you know what I'm saying? But I know familiar energy you want to label as your friend. Cool. But my mini had a situation where somebody had hit her, and my mini's pretty strong. She's me, she is me, but I guess because the person was a little bit younger than her, but the person was littler, but they was big. They was one of them, the little people that the parents overfeed them, so they like fat for their age. That's always weird to me when people do that to their little people. Like, you're buying the food, stop buying them the food to make them fat. Anyways, the little person had slapped my daughter, and me and her play fight. We do all this stuff all the time. She ended up talking to me about the situation, and she had basically was like, after she had like, her energy was like a little bit more subtle, because I never try to ask immediate questions in a certain manner when you are in a certain energy, because I know for me, if I'm revved up or something, like, don't ask me certain questions, because I may not respond to you, or I may not respond appropriately just because of the space I'm in. So when I asked her when she was a little bit more subtle, I was like, so when she hit you, did it make you, angry, or was you sad? She was like, no, Daddy, I was angry. Like, I wanted to hurt her. And she's like, the only reason why I didn't hit her because I didn't want her to go to the hospital. And I just kept thinking to myself, oh man. So my daughter was willing to take one on the chin because she didn't want to use excessive force, which she would have thought would have been excessive force. So what I end up having to tell her is, it's like, you gotta knock her motherfucking head off. You gotta push her teeth through the roof. You gotta push up to the back of her throat. She gotta know that she cannot put her hands on you. And that's gonna set an example for everybody else. I know a lot of people are that don't engage in defending yourself because of the way society is set up, but I play defense. And if you offend me, then it is my job to make sure my defense is awesome. So I gotta get my daughter there too. But it had touched my spirit though, because I understood where she was coming from about not wanting to hurt them. Because my daughter is pretty strong. She's 2 years older than the little girl too that had did it. So, but I play rough with her, and I know she's me. That's my seed, so I know. So it had hurt me in my heart, because I'm just like, damn, Daddy a fighter, I'm a boy, it's different for me. I would have been ready to just straight wreck you right away. As soon as you slap me because of I said something you didn't like, or whatever the situation may be, we are going to throw down. I don't give a damn. You're gonna have to beat me into the ground till I'm not functioning and moving anymore, which clearly I'm up here talking, so that hasn't happened. But I understood her. And for me it hurt, because I want her to be able to defend herself and to know these things, right? But then I don't discuss that. I don't bring it up anymore. We kind of just brush past it, me and her, and I don't even discuss it here as far as a subject. But then I had another being in my past life who wanted me to feel guilty for some things that I said towards them and outwardly to my community, to the community, you know what I mean? And it was like after they had done a bunch of weird shit already. And in my world, it's like, if you spit in my food, or if you slap me and I knock your teeth out, then that's on you. You know what I'm saying? If I broke your nose, then that's on you. You can tell me about, like, man, that was messed up how you broke my nose. You should apologize for it. but I'm not going to. My intentions was to hurt you. So you telling me, hey, you should apologize, that means that it was a job well done. Simple. When they were doing that witchy shit to us, they were planning on hurting us. That was their objective. They was trying to sabotage us. They was trying to help sabotage us. They was trying to control and manipulate us and do every other thing that the demonic team uses. So when you hit them with something spiritually, it sits and it holds. Kind of like, if any of y'all got little people, y'all know what it feels like to get slime on your clothes, on your couch, on the floor. Just if you get slime anywhere, it's there. You know what I'm saying? You can get it off if you get it right away. But if you don't get it right away, it's always going to, you're never going to be able to get it up all the way unless you go get some chemicals, brushes, and start doing the scrubbing, cleaning thing. And then again, it depends on what kind of material you got it on. Because I done got it on clothes. Well, my daughter got it on my clothes, and I couldn't get it off of there. You know, so that varies. But a lot of these beings want to be able to dish it out, but they don't want to be able to take it. And it's like, don't talk to me about how I knocked your motherfucking head off when you should be talking to me about how disrespectful you was when I opened the whole door for you and you decided to abuse the damn position. Abuse it. It's mind-blowing. To me, it'd be like, people be like, oh, well, how can somebody, it was a conversation where it was like, oh, well, I want to be, you'll never be my main. They always throw some weird shit about some bitches out there, right? They was talking about something. They said something about, oh, you got me mixed up with one of your other bitches. In my mind, it's like, I don't even have no bitches. To make that simple and short, because this is kind of off subject too. When you get into this space, for me, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, it was, okay, I got that energy away from me. I'm opening doors. I'm reaching, speaking. Fucking airplane again. We reaching, speaking. We doing all of these things, right? And in the process of trying to piece this stuff together, I won't want to speak for everybody, so I just keep using me as an example. Me, when I was in that space, I had people around that I was engaging with. After you go past that 1 year of trying to see what's going on with the quote-unquote dating world, market, putting yourself out there, whatever the fuck they call it, that weird shit, you know what I'm saying? You'll realize that it's a lot of demons out here. It's a lot of people with a lot of witchy tactics out here, you know what I'm saying? There was a point in time to where people would see organic energy, this organic energy, they would mesh, mingle, and they would build and grow. But now it's to a place to where you have this organic energy, then you got this artificial intelligence, you know what I'm saying? And these two motherfuckers do not blend together. And then even if you got organic beings that's trying to do something, one of them wants you to be positioned already. You know what I mean? So it's not like, hey, let's build and grow something together. Society is like, okay, nigga, you build, do your whole own thing yourself, then you find somebody in that space. And even the thing with that is, if you build your whole own thing, and into that space, it forces you to want to, as a male, to grab something lower. You don't want anything that's fucking hard, dramatic, and traumatized at the same age who we already know what it's like when it's a lot of action and activity going through that portal in space. Long story short, when they threw those comments out there, oh, right, when you're up, bitches, I just kept thinking, damn, I don't have no bitches. And then I had responded with something like, I don't even remember my damn response. But I know when she came back with her, I said, you not my main, so I don't really keep up with your schedule and stuff like that anymore. I don't know. And she said something about I will never be your main again, or some shit like that in that position, right? But what's crazy is, now to this day, she'll claim that title of being my main. But when she was in that position, she didn't want to claim it because I didn't give her the westernized title. No, I don't follow none of that shit. So if you are a firm believer in it, I am not. And I had said that shit, and then that's when it transitioned to, oh well, you had said some pretty hurtful, mean things about me when I had shit going on. I'm like, okay, that's after the fact. This is, and I'm only using this being in that situation as an example because I connected it to my mini, and I have numerous other situations, but that's just the most recent one that I felt like I should use. You know what I mean? So it's not just like, oh, that's the only being that does that. No, there's other beings that's done that shit as well too. But when that one happened, it made me connect the dots with my daughter. My daughter didn't respond or react in a way to where she was defending herself. She more so just went to protect her energy, you know, in a closed off way. You can protect and defend yourself in an open manner. You can protect and defend yourself in a closed manner. You know what I'm saying? Boxers do it all the time. If you know, boxers is protecting themselves when they do this, you know what I'm saying? But they also defending and protecting themselves when they throwing them jabs and punches. So it's a two-way door or a double-edged sword. But it made me realize, you know, it's like, it doesn't matter how much time has passed. You know, what they experience is always gonna weigh more. It's gonna be more prevalent than the shit that they do. So to me, I realized a lot of the shit that she was doing that was completely fucking disrespectful, that was completely disgusting, it's her natural, normal behavior. So she didn't look at the disgusting shit she was doing. Only thing she could say is, oh, Chris, you was fucking bitches, and oh, you said some mean stuff about me after the fact. And it's like, when you come to my door, we all know that this person probably has people they're talking to. This person probably has people they're talking to. Unless you've been in this space for a very long time, long enough to experience shit, everyone has someone. You have to be in this space for a long time to run into people who don't have no one. To ever run into a female who don't have a male. They be like, oh yeah, I ain't got no man. Yes, you do. You have somebody that you're talking to, that you're engaging with. If you don't have one, then you have multiples. Most females are not connected with themselves enough to be in a position to where there is no males around. And the thing is, the ones that don't have a male counterpart that they're sexually engaging with, they have quote unquote male friends. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be the same thing. That's still that masculine energy. So just understanding these things, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm not gonna be apologetic for how I defended myself, how the fight went. Like, no, it shouldn't have been no fight. You're a female. We shouldn't even be fighting or engaging in that manner. And even with the men that I fight and engage with, I'd have had men do the same thing. It's like, nigga, I don't care about none of that shit. I had people that I used to be running wild and reckless. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I wouldn't be in this space if I hadn't experienced life. But there was people that I had robbed in my past time, in my past life. And I see them to this day. And they be like, what up? You know, they don't hold any animosity or grudges like, oh shit, yeah, I remember that time you had, blah, 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 or when you, nah, it don't be none of that energy, none of it. Men know what time it is with men, and men know what levels men are willing to go to. We are not stupid out here. When you actually realize what's going on, you'll realize even with the story of Adam and Eve, it shows how disciplined men were until women came along. Even with Adam and Eve, it showed how disciplined men were until women came along. So any of you Christians that follow this book, you have to understand even the Adam and Eve story. That means that women are not fucking disciplined. Adam was structured and disciplined his whole fucking life until, in the story, oh, let me take a rib and make a woman. This motherfucker is undisciplined. And tricks and manipulates the man into following them. And that's what a lot of us men are starting to realize too. Like, for me, I beat the streets. I beat prison, jail. I went through a lot of shit. Some fucked up families. I did a lot of moving around between New York and Virginia. I beat a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Accomplished a lot of shit. But then that's just one transition in the Western society. Once you defeat that part, now you got women, which is a whole new process. In my mind, I always looked this way. So I always had females around. I always had women. It was never this weird shit that's going on out here now. Whatever chemicals, whatever shit they putting in this food, like, y'all gotta stay away from it. Y'all gotta stop eating it. Like, the story of Adam and Eve shows that women are the most undisciplined beings. Not saying that women cannot get disciplined, but I know that story gets passed around a lot. So it just goes to show which one is the weaker vessel, why they have to be protected, and they have to be structured. Structure. Most women that don't have a man is structured by the system. Try and tell y'all, man, this shit is weird, wicked, witchy, and deep. You know what I mean? So don't ever put yourself in a place to where you feeling bad or guilty for how you had to respond or react to a situation, because motherfuckers don't want to take self-accountability for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I had stitches right here. I'm sweating like a motherfucker. But I had stitches up here. Got hit with a rock. I was like around my daughter's age. You know what I'm saying? My daughter's 7. I probably was like 6, 7, between 5 and the 8 range. So, and this was in a neighborhood that my mom claimed wasn't the hood or the projects, but they knocked it down in Syracuse and rebuilt some nicer shit up there. Long story short, me and my brother was throwing rocks at one of my friends after we got off the school bus. We was throwing rocks at him. He made it to the house, you know what I'm saying? He went inside, but he kept the door open and kept picking the rocks up, throwing them back at us. So I got tired of throwing rocks. I'm like, all right, Chad, let's go. I'm ready to slide. So I start walking away. He's still throwing rocks. I'm like, Chad, come on. So he don't come on, so I go get him. I'm like, all right, Chad, let's go. So I'm like, as I'm grabbing him, I decide to throw another rock. Why? Just because I kept telling him multiple times, let's go, and since I'm back over here with the rocks, why not throw one with him? So I bent down, picked the rock up, right? Before I can even cock my arm back to launch it, my people's Eric was already had the rock on the way, smashed me right in the forehead. Bang! My shit split open right away. When I say it split open, this was split all the way open. Like, I was literally running back to the house, cupping blood in my head like this, just my brother crying for me. I'm not crying, I'm in shock and just run, just like, oh my God, it's just so much blood. Get to the house, my mom starts stuffing like wash rags and towels and shit. She get me over to the hospital. They stitch me up. They don't even put me to sleep. They just stitch me up, 7 stitches. And long story short, I could have been mad at him for hitting me with the rock, for me having to get stitches, but it's like, nigga, I didn't have to throw the rocks at him. That was his response and reaction. So when you know what it's like to be on both sides of the spectrum, you already know you not one of them beings that's gonna be running around entitled, like, yeah, well, what you did was worse. Well, what you did was worse. I threw rocks at him. A lot of rocks. He didn't even throw that many back, but one of the ones that he did throw, bong, hit me right here, marked me for life. You know what I mean? So if I didn't want this mark for life, I could have not threw no rocks at him. Did you know that? So for me, I could never run around telling a story about how I signed up for these stitches and then make it seem like I didn't sign up for them. You know what I mean? Like, when you live and you've been honest most of your life, you'll realize the only time you really are lying or stretching the truth is when you don't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, we're gonna be honest and open about everything at the door. You know what I mean? So just don't be living in regret. We are not regretters. You know what I'm saying? We are very mindful and aware of the actions that we take, always and consistently. You know what I'm saying? But I have been running up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Do not feel bad or guilty for how you respond. If they felt it, oh well, they dealt it. Shit, don't deal it if you ain't ready for it. You know what I'm saying? I would never go do something to somebody and expect them to do not anything back. If I do something to somebody, I'm expecting them to do something back because I have another plan I want to do that supersedes what I was just doing. So it's kind of like boxing. Boom, I hit you with a jab. Boom, they hit me with a jab. That's exactly what I needed for me to throw this hook now. You know what I'm saying? So now I want to bring more power. Understand that we are in the ring. You know what I'm saying? We still in a prison. You know what I'm saying? We're in physical prison. And they trying to keep us in this spiritual prison, but they got to use the magic and manipulation with that shit. You know what I'm saying? But tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.